Yo guys, what's going on? R.I.Pierre here using that max power return on YouTube, and today we are back with week 4 of the GPC, aka the Grand Pokemon Conference. And this week we are taking on, what's his name? Darius and his Rhode Island Riolus. So on the screen now you should see my team and his team, but let me recap his team at least fairly briefly. So looking at his team, he has 2 Megas. He has Mega Manectric and Mega Swampert. Now, around that he has Kingdra, Machamp, Azelf, Jolteon, Honchkrow, Quagsire, Scolipede, Galvantula, and Flygon. So, looking at his team, things that are immediately threatening are, of course, his Mega Swampert if he decides to run Rain Dance. That's very threatening to me. It's my only real way of dealing with that is a physically defensive Seismitoad, which ironically I didn't end up bringing. So, I mean, I bought Seismitoad, but it wasn't physically defensive. But yeah, there's that. Slowbro would have been fine to deal with it, as I resist its stab. I resist its waterfall, and you know what? To be honest, having Mega Swampert in the rain is very. It would be very beneficial for him to have his rain up. So, look at his team. I'm more afraid of his Swampert than I am of his Manectric. But at the same time, I also have more coverage ability against his. I have more coverage against his Swampert if he brings it, and he also has more coverage against me if he brings Manectric, because Manectric can run different moves that are better suited for my team. And Swampert is kind of limited as far as what it can do, especially a Mega Swampert, which is pretty much fully offensive. It can take hits, of course, but it's limited by its move pool as far as what it can do to a very diverse team on its own, which is the only real drawback for Mega Swampert. Mega Swampert is threatening to my team nonetheless. So I was actually also very scared of him bringing Quagsire. You'll see in team building that I made some extra. I went through some extra measures to make sure that Quagsire wouldn't be an issue. Honestly, for some reason, I did not think he would bring Scolipede. But just in case I did, I had Seismitoad anyway, so I was actually fine against most of his team. The things I had an issue with is if Galvantula is able to come in and set up webs, I can't go into Crobat immediately to defog them, because I need Galvantula to just go away, and because it will more than likely OHKO me with Thunder. And yeah, he makes some questionable plays, you'll see later on. But what the team I expected him to bring, I thought he would have Assaultless Machamp, because it can do a ton of damage to any member of my team, regardless of who it is. I do believe it gets knockoff. If it gets knockoff, then yeah, it can do damage to any member of my team fairly well. Kingdra, Dragon Dance, which he did end up bringing, you'll see later. Mega Swampert, Quagsire, Honchkrow, and Azelf. So I think I got most of it correct, but nonetheless, you'll see what happens when we get to it. So over on my side, I'm just going to briefly go through my team. I have Megalophony, Slowbro, Dragalge, Seismitoad, Crobat, Zumarill, Hitmontop, Doublade, Meloetta, Typhlosion, and Durant. So my teams are getting kind of boring because I seem to bring the same things except for like one interchangeable slot from week to week. And yeah, I don't care. Yeah, it's my team. Let me stop. But yeah, so Megalophony is a given. She's gonna be on every team I ever bring, because Megalophony is just an amazing Pokemon and just does damage, does this work to everybody. But yeah, so looking at my squad, I knew I was bringing Megalophony. Seismitoad, Crobat are already givens, although I could have bought Hitmontop against him. I just felt like it wouldn't have been the ideal choice, considering that Crobat does have a U-turn, which helps me out quite a bit. Yeah, and defog is, I don't know what I'm trying. I don't remember what I was getting at. All I know is I was making a point. But yeah, so if I need Super Fang, go for that. I have U-turn. Bravery does decent damage to almost any member of his team, and I was perfectly fine with that. I think Bravery actually 2-hits Galvantula. Bravery is a 2-hit KO on every member of his team, other than Jolteon, physically defensive Quagsire, and Mega Manectric. So those are things to keep in mind. Azumarill, I want to bring Citrus Berry Belly Drum, but that Quagsire was very scary to me because I just wanted to make sure if he's going to be unaware, I can't beat it one-on-one, especially if he burns me. If he goes for Toxic, then if I got damage off on that turn, maybe I could. Depends on how much damage I do, but I just can't beat Quagsire one-on-one with the Azumarill. I didn't want to have it go down as me having the Citrus Berry Belly Drumming, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's nothing I can do to this Quagsire, so there was no point to me bringing it. The Blade's use was going to be very, very limited in this match, as he's weak to practically the entire team. On the other side, Azelf, if it brings Fire Blast, Machamp knockoff to a KO, and I don't do enough damage in return. Kingdra after special Kingdra does damage. Kingdra after Dragon Dances, Mega Manectric Intimidate, plus it's a special attacker, a hard-hitting one at that. That also learns Flamethrower or Overheat, one or the other, and does immense amounts of damage that way as well to me. And yeah, it was just all over the place like that. So Typhlosion, as far as Typhlosion and Durant go, Durant, he was just going to chill on the sidelines this week anyway. Azelf would be the only real thing I would bring it for, and honestly, I could deal with it in other ways. Typhlosion, well, he's got a Kingdra and a Swampert on what I assumed was a rain team, or a semi-rain team in any case, and Typhlosion would not have shined. Hitmontop, you already got my explanation. I actually decide, you know what, we'll see, I'll show you later. And then Slowbro, I'm gonna give him the week off, as I really don't think I have as much use for him, as Honchkrow could Pursuit Trap me or just absolutely destroy my life on my Slowbro, and I really just didn't feel it necessary to bring it. I could have bought it for Quagsire and used Grass Knot or something like that, but I already had my ways of dealing with it. So that is these are our teams explained and whatnot. So we're gonna go on Showdown now, and we're gonna go look through the actual teams now. So let's go on ahead and click Team Builder. Alright, so leading off, of course, Megalopony with Limber as its pre-mega ability, Fake Out, Return, High Jump Kick, and Ice Punch. The 100% standard set, because there is no reason for me to run anything else. So that's my reasoning. Bun, just the destroyer of worlds. Next up we have Low 5, the Crobat with Black Sludge, Inner Focus, Defog, Roost, Brave Bird, U-Turn. In hindsight, I probably should have used Infiltrator, considering he doesn't have anything that really flinches, but I digress. Yeah, anyways. Read the chat if you get a chance. But next up, Low 5, Crobat, Black Sludge. Yeah, we went through this. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, EVs and IVs. So 248 HP. I ran just enough speed to outspeed the fastest Pokemon on his team before Mega Evolution, or second fastest I should say. I'm not faster than Jolteon, but I am faster than his, what was it? I'm looking at it, I just switched back. Yeah, you guys should see this now. I don't know why I'm commentating it. But the fastest Pokemon on his team is a Zelf. So I wanted to make sure I could outspeed that and U-turn out, or just Brave Bird it to death if necessary. So, yeah. As far as the EVs go, it's just weird. I put 24 into each of its defenses just to give it a tiny bit more bulk. I put 76 into its attack, put it at 235. I think that was actually just enough to Oko Honchkrow? Let me check that right now, right quick. Let me check. 74 attack, Timid, Jolly. There we go. I suck at natures. Alright, so Crobat, please. Alright. Support. Let's say Jolly. Oh. 6. Honchkrow. Murdercrow. I think he was, yeah, I don't know if he was Life Orb or not. He definitely wasn't banded. Oh, 63.6 to 75%. Okay, never mind. It was just to pick off, basically, the rest of his team. I don't know what I was thinking just now. Honchkrow does have excellent HP. That's basically the extent of its attack stat. Or the extent of its defenses. Yeah, so moving on, we have Seismic. Oh my gosh, I forgot to name him Toadsworth. No! My game is ruined for the rest of the year. Anyways, so Seismitoad, Leftovers, Water Absorb, Stealth Rock Knockoff, Earthquake, and Ice Punch. This is the same side I ran last week, but I just felt better about it. I was going to run Special initially because I felt that Quagsire was too much of an issue and I could have just gone for a Grass Knot. I'm taking care of business, but the next Pokemon in my party just convinced me not to. So, 216 HP, 136 into attack. I forgot what that was for. And then 148 defense, of course, just to make me physically offensive, bulky, with an impish nature, positive defensive. So, done with that. Whoops, wrong. Next up, we have Christina the Meloetta with Life Orb, Serene Grace, Substitute Hyper Voice, Energy Ball, and Psyshock. I didn't run Sub CM because of the fact that I did need all 3 slots. Hyper Voice, of course, is just stab on, and it's the safest move to go for because it doesn't have any ghosts. Energy Ball is specifically for Quagsire and his Swampert. Psyshock is specifically for his Machamp because Machamp normally carries Assault Vest or Choice Band, so the vested set does get KO'd O-Code by Psyshock and not by Psychick, so there's that. So I did max speed with a Timid Nature, max special attack, and 4-inch defense. I decided against going max HP, max speed because of the fact that I don't think Psyshock KOs Machamp at... You know what? I'll check that later off screen. But yeah, I just wanted as much damage as possible while I'm also fairly bulky, especially, and my physical defense is decent, but I have a nice HP stat, so I'm chilling. Next up, we have Ponygirl the Azumarill, Stay Golden Ponygirl with the Choice Band, Huge Power, Aqua Jet, Waterfall, Play Rough, and Knockoff. I was really considering this last spot because I didn't have. There was nothing that this coverage on my Azumarill could not penetrate, so I had trouble thinking of what to put in the last slot. I just put Knockoff, just be nice and standard, and yeah. And last but not least, last but not least, Diet Dr. Kelp the Dragalge with Choice Specs, Adaptability, Draco Meteor, Sludge Bomb, Dragon Pulse, and Focus Blast. I have Pulse and Meteor because if it comes down to a situation where I can stay in on multiple Mons that are left on his team and take hits rather than having to switch out, I just want to be locked in the Pulse rather than being locked in the Draco Meteor and doing significantly less damage after the first one. Sludge Bomb, of course, dual stab, and it does, let me see, what Mons? Yeah, it's literally just dual stab, and it hits anything. In fact, there was actually, it's just dual stab, to be honest. So, Focus Blast was literally, it was the same thing with Azumarill. I was thinking about the 4th slot. I already had enough to do with everything on his team, so it was fine. I just put Focus Blast there because, you know, it's a 4th move slot. But yeah, I felt very confident going into this week, even though I got 5-0'd by Cresselia last week, and yeah. Alright, so, now that that is out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and end this recording, and then we're going to go ahead and go into the replay, so I shall be back soon. Alrighty, it looks like we are back. Now, looking at his team, this is the team he decided to bring. Mega Swampert, Galvantula, Kingdra, Azelf, Honchkrow, and Flygon. So, I think I've explained everything pretty well. So I think we can go straight away into the battle. Let me set this to normal speed, and we can go on ahead. But before I decide to press that play button, please go check out my the person I was against, Darius. It'll be in the description below. His and see his side of stuff, and go subscribe to him. Just go do it. Just do it. Alright, so his links will be in the description below. Follow him on Twitter, subscribe to him. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. That's the ticket. Anyways, moving on. So let's go straight into the battles. I've pretty much said everything I need to say. So I'm gonna lead off straight away with Mega Lopunny here, and I'm gonna go ahead and Mega Evolve and go for Fake Out as usual. And he decides to bring in his Galvantula. That was a head scratcher because if he gets webs up, my team has a very hard time dealing with his team without speed, and he's just gonna go down. It's just unfortunate. So I could have O-code this Honchkrow here with High Jump Kick, but if I missed, I was screwed. So instead, he's gonna go for Brave Bird on my Crobat, but I'm living that because I ain't no scrub, and I'm gonna go ahead and click Roost because even if he goes for Brave Bird again, I can live another one and possibly bring him down to the point where I can just KO him with a Fake Out from Lopunny. So I'm gonna go for Brave Bird this turn as I dodge his Sucker Punch successfully, and I do get a near max roll on that Brave Bird. I calculated earlier in the video if you want to look at that, and I get that. So I'm gonna go ahead and U-turn out of this Kingdra. My Crobat is lucky to be alive, but we're going back into a Azumarill here as there's no type of coverage he can do to me. And he goes for a Tract here, so before people start jumping on him like, oh, why would you go for a Tract? Something. But if I had chosen to stay in on Crobat is a male. He is set up fodder after he's attracted, for the most part, as long as I don't get, because I'm either forced to switch out or I have to deal with the fact that more often than not I'm going to be immobilized by my apparent love for this dragon seahorse. But yeah, so I switched to Pony Girl though, so you know that love doesn't work in games. Moving on. So I'm just chilling here, waiting for this. I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. Like, honestly, I forgot everything. Alright, yeah. So, what you see here, what you would see on like the low ladder and whatnot, you're like, oh, that's an awful play. It's stuff that could work from time to time, and it's stuff that you will see in innovative people in leagues from time to time. And you know what? That's actually pretty cool. I approve of your attract strategy. So, moving on. He's going to go ahead and switch out into his Flygon here. I was very puzzled with him going for this, but I couldn't see the mons he had left, and even if I could, he doesn't have a switch in for a choice banded play rough from me, and Flygon is easily the most expendable member of his team, so he does make the right option. He does take the right road here by sacrificing his Flygon, and it's going to go down in one shot from this choice banded Azumarill. Now here is another questionable play that I later on through just looking at it from my own perspective, it made sense. It made less sense in the moment than it does when you realize what could happen. So the obvious switch for me would be to go into my Meloetta, and in case he had Energy Ball or anything of the sort, because I'm pretty sure if he was like Specs, or I don't know if Life Orb Energy Ball would KO me, but if he Specs, and if he was a Specs Energy Ball, I'm a gone Azumarill. So, especially since I'm not vested. So either he thought I was vested and decided, I don't know, you know, if he thought I was vested, then that was a terrible play. But the play that I didn't realize that could happen, if I had switched to my Meloetta, which could take any attack from him, I give him a free Life Orb with this trick, and he gives me back a Choice Band that Meloetta can't do anything with. So I think he just got a little bit overzealous with the prediction there and decided to go for a trick to try to choice band my Meloetta and take my Life Orb. And that would have been a beautiful play had that worked out for him. And you know what? It's fine. It happens. Misplays happen. Well, okay, yeah, that was completely his fault. But at the same time, it happens. And unfortunately, the risk just didn't work out for him in this moment. Moving on. So he tricks my Choice Band and gives me back a Choice Band, and I'm going to go ahead and OHKO this Zelf as he's just gonna drop. And now he's down to his last two mons in Swampert and Kingdra, but I couldn't tell that at the moment. So I'm gonna go into low 5 here in case he wants to go for an Earthquake. As he turns out to be a Yawn Swampert, which is annoying because now I'm gonna have to switch out a lot. So I decided to U-turn out, just get a little bit of damage off on him. I was expecting a Rain Dance here, but he actually decides to go straight away for Waterfall, and I think I decided to switch out again into low 5 again, just in case he went for Earthquake, because that's the only possible option. But he does also have Yawn as an option. So did I pull out? Yeah, I decided to go for U-turn again. I go into Lopunny this time, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because I do want to get the KO with her. And he goes for Yawn again, so I'm like, fine, you know what, just keep switching. So I go into Christina here, my Meloetta, and he's going to go for the Waterfall. And I'm going to go straight away for the Energy Ball and take him out. I didn't realize Meloetta got in a KO, so we went even. Good. So here's where I messed up. I didn't realize this was his last mon or something. I also misclicked. So I was originally going to click Hyper Voice, which is right next to Substitute, and that screwed me over. I honestly did not mean to do this, and I'm gonna be behind a sub as he Dragon Dances, although it does give me another turn of life, but I would have just gotten KO'd the following turn anyways. Either way, he crits my sub, and I'm gonna do a good amount of damage with this Hyper Voice, 66%. Had I been modest, I would have KO'd him, but Nevertheless, I'm going to go to Lopunny here and just fake him out, and that is going to be the battle. This is a very quick battle, although this video was actually quite long. So yeah, that's going to be it for me. I won 5-0. Should have been 6-0, but I made a crucial misplay in going for substitute there. I wanted to go for, whatchamacallit. If anything, I want Seismitoad to go down. What I originally wanted to do was go ahead and go for Hyper Voice and Meloetta there. As he Dragon Dances, as he can't attract me. Switch into my Seismitoad after that. Absorb the water from the incoming waterfall, as I don't think he would want to lock himself in that Outrage with an Azumarill still on my side of this field, and proceed to either KO him with Seismitoad, because with Earthquake after that, if Seismitoad could just live an Outrage or whatever he decides to go for after water absorbing the waterfall, then I could just KO it, then get the 6-0, and then that would be the W. But instead I click substitute and I'm like, oh, fine. I just do damage. Christina is my casualty, but she is the co-captain. She knows her job and she does it well. Her and Lopunny, the co-captains. VCU's Angels. Ha! There we go. I'm gonna make that a thing. I'm gonna make GFX and wow, GFX. Nice Pierre. I'm gonna make GFX and shit too. Be like VCU's Angels. Ha! Yes, I'm gonna make that a thing. Alright, anyways, Lopunny's been dancing there for a while, so I'm just gonna let her, you know, go home. So, until we meet again, alright, peace out. I'll see you all next week. We have the mid-season tournament coming up, so if I find a rule description of some sort, I'll put it in the description below. If it isn't there, you know I either didn't take the time to, or I just didn't find it before uploading this video. So, until we meet again, alright, peace out, like I said before, and I will catch you next week with the mid-season tournament match. Hey!